Now that we're a little bit more familiar with how the sequencer works and the idea of having nested sequences, let's have a look at the Unreal control rig. In my sequence here, I don't have a camera, but I still have a folder just in case we decide to add one later. I've got a character folder with my mannequin in it, but I don't have a control rig added to my mannequin yet. I also have a reference clip, but we'll come back to that after we've had a look at the control rig. For our mannequin, if your control rig didn't come in automatically, you can click on the plus sign, control rig, and for this we don't want layered, we're just going to filter by skeleton, and I'm choosing the CR for control rig mannequin body. Depending on your project requirements, you might be using a very specific control rig, and that's the one you would choose. But for now, I'm using control rig mannequin body. On the right side, you can see my controls, and on the left side, I have the controls turned off, and if I press G, it puts us into game mode. So if I press G, the controls come on, the controls go off. Being in game mode means it turns all the peripheral things off, like gizmos and your manipulator, and also your lights and things like that. So it's nice to have a clean workspace, but also one where you can see all the controls. This also brings us to the next phase of some of the UI elements. In animation mode, you would normally get all the UI elements, such as the animation details panel, which just gives you a little bit more finesse than the normal details panel when you've selected a animation control. The animation outliner, instead of the normal editor's outliner, which is more of a scene description, the anim outliner will show us all our controls in a big hierarchy stack. But same here in the sequencer. You'll notice that since I've added a control rig, all of the controls are now displayed in the sequencer, which again, you are scrolling for days and it can be a little painful. There's also the anim layers. Works in a similar way. You can add layers to your controls. We also have this great animation specific toolbox. There's a couple of things on here that are super helpful. Hit the select button. It will mean that the only thing that is selectable are the controls. Very handy for when you've got a lot of stuff in your scene. It's also in the viewport. It is the same little button that's up here. If I deselect that, then I can select the floor and the sky dome, and that stuff becomes pretty frustrating when you've got a lot of things in your scene. There's also a select toggle next to it. This guy here limits your selection to whatever is in your sequencer. So I can still select my mannequin because he's part of the sequence, but I can't select the ground or the sky, which is another handy selection. If we take a little bit of a closer look at our mannequin here, in the anim outliner, if I select the global control, and then I'm in the anim details panel, there's a few toggles here. You can see his arms are currently in FK, but if I scroll, select the global control, and I can toggle the arms into IK. Same with the legs, I can toggle the legs into FK. There's also neck and spine toggles for those things. And here in the sequencer, if I hit F10, it turns on filtering. It will only show what I have selected. It will filter to that control, which is very handy rather than having all the controls visible down there. Filter it out, select my hand, and I can just concentrate on that one piece in the sequencer there. But I'm going to jump out and I'm going to look at my ref So I've imported some ref here. Let's see, it's just me doing a bit of a monster walk coming in. Actually, I'll probably fast forward this so you don't have to listen to me. Now with the power of movie magic, we have a animated piece looking pretty cool. From here, if we wanted to make a layer adjustment, we can find our control rig in the sequencer, hit the plus sign, and we can then go additive, which gives us our original animation there. Find it's a good habit to lock that track. And then anything we do on our additive layer, we can change put his shoulders up or turn his head, look up to the sky, just do something a little weird. And if I set that key, then all of a sudden he's looking up, bewildered. And I can mute that layer. So we go back to our original, turn it back on, there's our layer. And I can bake all that back down. We can bake it to the control rig. So now I've just baked it to the one control rig in my scene. Or we can right click on our top node and bake to animation sequence. So here I'll find my control rig or my level example, control rig example, motion. I've got a folder here called bake sequence. What I'm going to call this is monster walk look up underscore Aiden. And I'm just putting my name there so it's easier to find later. You'll understand in a second. If I hit OK, export. Now if I delete my control rig, you see my mannequin's gone back to a default pose. So back to my mannequin. If I hit plus, animation, and I type in Aiden and I go monster walk lookup, it's added an animation track with no control rig that's just baked in. And from here I can add control rig, but if I tick layered this time and my control rig mannequin body, it adds the control rig but with no keys. So it's completely blank, and from here, whatever I do with my control rig is just an additive to the motion underneath. We're making him do a real zombie walk. He's not looking too good, but I hope you get the concept.